So we talk about the space at large and how it's a
Sure.
reflection of you. And then you also design these suites as a reflection of and a response to the triage hospitality and what each individual needs. So does
Absolutely.
each suite have a personality type? Is that kind of what I'm getting?
It absolutely does. And so I actually brought in an all female firm, of course. Just, yes, a Siren Betty design firm out of Chicago, Illinois. And we met a few years ago. And the beautiful sisterhood that has been created from that relationship by way of Tiny Urban Escapes and even our vision and mission and what we hope to do with women in the industry
Mhm.
produced suites that are themed after the spirit of people. So
Okay.
we know we look at, the design element and, the lighting fixtures and all of those things that come together that make a beautiful hotel suite. But I think oftentimes what is missed is the individual that is more drawn to one space over another. So, you think of yourself online and you just want to get away and you're searching for the right hotel. So I actually went to Siren Betty and said, listen, I don't want to design for the structural space. We have to.
Mhm.
But I want to think of the person and I want to think of the type of person, like the bold person, and what
Mhm.
would draw an individual that kind of has the audacity to go out into the world and be themselves, and not follow the crowd. That's
Yeah.
what I would like to design this suite for. And then the naturalist, someone who cares about the environment, that is a lover of animals and free spirited individuals. And so I gave them a list of about 5 descriptions. And they took that and created and designed out our next 5 builds for Tiny
Wow.
Urban Escapes. So it was a transformative process. I think we worked backwards,
Yeah, you
which
reverse engineered it. Yeah.
absolutely,
Wow.
which definitely worked in our favor. And so I can say that we thought of individuals. We took a step back and reflected on the year of 2020
Mhm.
and really considering what individuals needed or what they may need in this year and then moving forward. And I think that we've all seen this huge shift in hospitality that even predates the pandemic, with when
True. Yep.
Airbnb came in and shook up
Mhm.
absolutely everything. And so I think that we have to begin to, and we've started to think about individuals and their experiences and what they want from out of these spaces, far extending an overnight stay. And so from
Yeah.
that, I thought of those individuals first, and then we designed the suites out from there.
Wow, you're speaking to my marketing heart here. Uh,
Oh, thank you.
like finding the personas, reverse engineering the room based on the person.
Yeah.
That's a novel idea. You talked a bit about your team and the fact that it's all women,
Yeah.
and I'm all for women's empowerment too. So tell me about building that team.
Sure, absolutely. So once I made the decision to start on my journey in hospitality, I knew that an important piece of that was how do I contribute to the success of other women. There were so many women when I worked in higher education that contributed to my success as a young paraprofessional on campus, and then when I
Mhm.
grew into my professional roles. And not only that, but even as I come from a very large family
Mhm.
that's very female dominated as well. And so we are very supportive of one another. And when I thought about the vision for Tiny Urban Escapes, and I began to do research in hospitality and the lack of representation, not only with regards to diversity, but I'm actually in regards to diversity, but as women and African
Mhm.
American women, there's less than 1% of hoteliers that are female. And even less than that are African American females. And so you just step up and you want to do your part. And that part is how do we create this space that encourages more women to become hoteliers? And how do I start? And I started by creating a team of
Mhm.
all women to come on
Awesome.
board. And Chastity Lofton, as you mentioned, and Chris Hillman. are partners with Tiny Urban Escapes. And so number one, I think that women are a significant asset and always have been in hospitality, and not only in hospitality, but just across the board in many ventures. And so it was a natural fit with the two young ladies. I kind of pitched them my idea. They immediately fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And we've been working ever since to really put into place what it means to be a female today. With, again, we have so much gender inequality going on in the world, that always has been. And how do we shift the tables and not necessarily look to for someone else, but how do we say that we're equally as powerful, that we can build our own tables to sit at as well,
Yes.
and we can build them long enough for other women to join us. So
Ugh, I love that. Did you ever have a moment in there, when you looked around and thought, wow, there's, less than 1% representation here. Did you feel like maybe this isn't for me, maybe I should go somewhere else, or did that just make you want to double down?
oh no, that said, I need to be here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad.
It's a male dominated industry, and that can be easily intimidated, but hospitality isn't the only area that's male
Right.
dominated. And I think about all of the women in any area, of any ethnicity or any background, that has come before me and
Mhm.
decided to tackle whatever it was they set out to accomplish as well. And so I don't believe that I ever felt intimidated by being a woman. I would actually say I was more, if I was intimidated, it was venturing into something that was so unfamiliar to me.
Mhm.
But again, I draw everything back to the community that I grew up in. You have to be resilient, you have to be
Mhm.
strong. And so I think it's naturally my calling.
It's so great. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're
Thank
doing this.
you.
It's extremely refreshing. Personally, I have a goal not to have any old white guys on my podcast, and no offense to them,
Right.
some of them are doing great things too, but we need other voices in the conversation. We need voices like
Absolutely.
yours, voices like mine, other women hoteliers, and that's why I'm so happy to be having this conversation with you and to help support you.
Thank you. I think we're at our best when we can find voices unfamiliar to what we've always known. So,
Yes.
How to share